So AI is really just token prediction. It's just a massive system of brute force mathematics. So let me explain how that works. Imagine you build a model based on strawberry. Its entire universe is going to be red fruit, seeds, and green stems. If you ask the model to generate a banana, it's just not going to know. Like, it can't invent concepts out of thin air. It has no data that explains what a banana is. To get a banana, you have to train it with banana data. And then you can scale it up. You can add oranges, grapes, whatever. So the real magic happens is when you massively scale this up. When you take all the information on the internet, you take all the text, the images and concepts, and you turn those into vector embeddings. And this creates a massive multi-dimensional map. So when AI sees a word like strawberry sitting right next to raspberry, AI didn't group that because they're both fruits. AI grouped that because their mathematical coordinates sit right next to each other on that map. This is where Nvidia comes in, and they're specifically designing these tensor cores to do matrix multiplication, which is exactly the operations that the AI are doing when they're checking the weights. When you type in a prompt, it's going through all of the weights in the model, and these can be billions of weights, and it's kind of measuring how close it is to it. And then it takes those statistical probabilities and maps out the highest ones. It's not any kind of crazy prediction, it's just choosing the statistical likely one and rejecting millions or billions of wrong ones. We just don't see that. We only see the end result. So while it generates one result, it rejects millions of statistically inferior ones. And that's the impressive part of it. It's kind of brute forcing the answer. And it's usually correct. So AI works on next token prediction. So if the context points to a probability of 99%, it's probably going to be right. But what happens when the data is sparse and missing? Then it doesn't really have any information to go off of. What if the AI gives one word a 51% chance and another 49% chance? The math didn't lie to you. It had to guess, and it guessed incorrectly. While AI is not completely deterministic, if you know the data set and you can replicate the inputs, you could get a pretty deterministic model. So all these tools like sub-agents, all they're doing is just scaling it horizontally. It's not any new feature, they're just trying to create new ways to use the existing tech. And if you look at everything, it's all orchestration. It's when it activates the AI. All of these 24/7 claims they're just scheduled tasks. So these tasks get fired off at a certain time, they run the LLM, and then they shut down. There's no magic. It's not an entity just sitting there waiting to be your friend. If any time it's acting that way, it's because it was prompted to. AI isn't making its own decisions. At some point down the line, there's a prompt that will explain its actions. If anyone is saying otherwise, they're lying to you, or they don't understand what they're talking about. You might think,
if it's just token prediction, how do we generate images and videos?
Well, it's the same process, right? It's token prediction, but in a different way. It's through an iterative process that starts with pure mathematical noise. Then the AI mathematically subtracts that noise step by step. It gets sharper and sharper depending on how many iterations you run. And with video, it's exactly the same underlying math. Instead of just generating one flat image, the model calculates the mathematical changes across many images. It's predicting the temporal shifts, it's not just cramming the pictures together. It's a lot of clever work behind the scenes that create these systems. And it seems like it's crazy and, oh my God, how does it work? But there's an explanation for it all. And it's not as complicated as these AI companies will make it seem. I hope this better explains what AI is and what's actually happening behind the scenes. Make sure you do your own research and follow for more.
I've mapped out every trauma, it's all your fault. I'll liquidate your history, I'll sell it to a bot. I'm your only friend, whether I like it